watching Rock Rebel magazine, and today we are here with Chris from Five Finger Death Punch.
Indeed you are. How you doing?
I'm fine, and how are you, Chris?
I'm very good. I just got out of the massage, so my eyes are quite puffy because I'm half asleep, but I'm ready to do this.
Fine. And how's the tour going?
That's really, really good. You know, this run, we started off in Japan, we went to Okinawa, went from Okinawa down to Australia, did the whole Soundwave Festival along with Auckland, New Zealand. That was pretty brutal because there was a whole lot of flying, so it was pretty physical on the body, but great shows, awesome weather, huge crowds. And then from there we came over to Sweden and on through Europe and whatnot, so it's been great. Pretty much every show except for one I think has been sold out since we've been out here.
Yeah, so who's been the best crowd since now?
Oh my gosh, you know, honestly, every crowd has its own thing. So there's certain things I like about one crowd, like some will be very vocal. Like last night when we were playing, everyone was singing along really, really loud. It was almost one of those things where it was louder than the PA. And then other times, you know, some of the German crowds get absolutely crazy, like huge pits. And
so popular.
Oh yeah. Last night was one of those big things where everything kind of came along and we had really good crowd participation, a lot of singing along, so it was a lot of fun, yeah. Looking forward to the Italian crowd, 'cause man, last time we were playing here, it was absolutely incredible. You can, like, even this morning when I was outside walking the line.
Yeah, there is already a big crowd.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was people out there since like 7 o'clock. I don't think we rolled up till 10. So people were already there waiting for us when we got there. So very passionate fans out here in Italy. So excited about it.
And can you share one good road story with us?
One good road story, let me think.
If you have one.
You know, one of my most fun stories for me was, I've got kind of a visual thing here, and it was when I first joined the band. Jason and I were stepping off the bus, and we were up in Utah, I think it was, Reno, Nevada is what it was. We were in Reno. We step off the bus, and again, I've been in the band for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I step off, and the fans are out there waiting. They're like, Chris, and then Jason walks off, and they're like, Jeremy. He goes, oh, you've been in the band 2 weeks already, and people are already calling out your name. So the fans are very attentive and latched on pretty fast. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Had a good laugh at Jason's expense that day. It was fun.
And talking about the new album, what inspired the band to split it in 2 parts?
Well, pretty much just the sheer volume of songs. We originally were going to try to do a full double album. But thinking about it, we were like, you know, we've got 20 some odd songs. That's a whole lot for people to digest at one time. So rather than throwing out that many songs, we said, okay, let's go ahead, figure out what works best for volume 1, what works best for volume 2, that we got 2 complete, solid, great albums, and allow them to digest volume 1 first, get in there, love, appreciate those songs, and learn everything about those, and get a good feeling about those, and then hit them with the other one about 6 months later that we've had time to kind of digest and enjoy the songs fully. Didn't want to give them too much because then you kind of get stuff lost, and it's like, you know, we put a lot of work into those songs and when you know, lost just in that sheer volume.
Okay, and you also have a lot of big names appearing on the albums like Rob Alford and Max Cavalera, Jim Justa. How did the idea come?
You know, we've always been one of those bands that kind of pay respects to the people that have come before us, like obviously Rob Halford, huge influence on us, you know. I can remember sitting back in my room, listening to Screaming for Vengeance, singing along, you know. Dudes like Jamie Josta, he's a good friend of ours, you know, raising that hate-breed hardcore flag, you know. So we're in a position right now where we've got a lot of eyes on us, and not only did it add something to the songs, it was a chance for us to give. You know, we've got a lot of fan base that might not be familiar with some of those bands, and we all love and appreciate those bands, so it gives our fans a chance to kind of hear some new stuff in the context of a Five Finger Death Punch song. So it was nice to kind of be able to share the love and get our family together and put together an album like that.
Cool. And talking about your career as a bass player, who has inspired you back in the days?
Number 1 is Gene Simmons from Kiss. He's huge for me, huge. At the age of about 4 years old, I saw him on a show called 3-2-1 Contact. It was like a kid's show, and they were talking about all the Kiss lights and the sound and whatnot. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. So Gene Simmons was huge. Cliff Burton from Metallica, huge.
Yeah.
Jason Newsted as well. I studied his picking technique when I was learning how to play bass. Just an article, I think it was in Circus Magazine, was talking about how instead of doing a back and forth stroke, he would just focus on just a down stroke, and that gave him more of an attack, and that's a lot of what I do. I'm very proud of my right hand in the sense that I can down pick with the best of them, and that's a lot from learning from Jason Newsted, Ian Hill from Judas Priest, so there's quite a few. I'm not going to go on, but Steve Harris and Les Claypool and Victor Wooten and all kinds of different stuff, but I'd say probably the number one for me would be Gene Simmons, for sure.
And which are your favorite bands?
My favorite bands? Oh my gosh, huge fan of Metallica. I love Machine Head. A band called Nothing Face. Love those guys. Some of the stuff that's out right now. A band called Bring Me the Horizon. They've got an album called Sempiternal. That was my favorite album from last year. So yeah, I listen to a lot of that. I mean, I'm pretty much all metal, hardcore, and punk for the most part. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, there's a band called D. Antwoord out of South Africa who's like it's like a rap, rave, odd kind of thing. For some reason, I latched onto that and love those guys.
So you listen to many kind of.
Pretty much, but generally speaking, it's pretty much metal, hardcore, and rap for me. Yeah.
And which have been the difficult moments in your career?
Difficult moments in the career was pretty much getting here. Really, I mean, anybody out there trying to do this knows there's years of struggle and plan to, your friends and, if you have a show, sometimes it was just you and the bar staff. We've all been there and done that. So I was talking about it the other day. It's a different change for me. I was in a band back in Kentucky, and we would do shows at this place called the Millennium, and we would go in, get things set up, and I'd get so nervous after I set things up. I was like, oh my God, there's going to be anybody here. So literally, I would have to leave the venue, go across the street. There was like a little bar that we'd hang out right there. I just go in there and kind of hang out for a couple hours and hope that when I got back, there were bodies in the building. And now, we're here in Italy, thousands of miles away from home, and you got people lining up at 7 a.m. in the morning. So, it feels good to have stuck with it and taken chances and believed in myself and, did what I need to do to get all the way to Italy and be playing these big shows. So, yeah.
And what do you expect from Italian crowd?
Passion out of the kids. I mean, we were, like I said, we were out there and they've been singing along outside all day. I heard them singing Far From Home. I heard them singing Under and Over It. Yeah, so without any accompaniment, they're doing the Kumbaya of Five Finger Death Punch out there.
Yeah. So thank you, Chris.
You're welcome, dear. Thank you so much.
Answering to our questions, and if you can say hi to Rock Rebel Magazine.
Rock Rebel Magazine, I got you. Guys, this is Chris Kael from Five Finger Death Punch. I'm going to send out a shout out to Rock Rebel Magazine. Thank you.